Listen to Dr. Joan Lewis-Wambi as she gives an update on the project funded by Allison's Allies. Dr. Joan Lewis-Wambi, can you give us a little update on your project that you're working on with triple-negative breast cancer?
Oh, I would love to, Allison. So thank you once again for funding the research in my lab. So for the past 6 months, so this is kind of like a follow-up to our last meeting. We've been able to collect some additional samples for triple-negative breast cancer to screen for the protein that we're interested in, IFIDM1. And so we had looked at our original samples. We had 50 samples. We were able to get an additional 25 triple-negative samples, and that was through our collaboration not only here at KU Med, but also with my collaborator at the University of Tennessee. So now we have 75 samples, which may not seem like a lot, but in terms of triple negative, it is a lot. And these are samples for African American patients, which is really important because those samples are really hard to get. So we've been able to get those samples, and we're able to compare triple negative from African American patients and samples from Caucasian patients. And we pretty much see the same trend. So with the 50 samples that we'd initially screened, we'd identified our protein of interest in 40 of those samples, and that pretty much is extended into the additional samples that we've looked at. So about 80% of all of our samples show this expression of the protein that we've identified, which we think is encouraging because it's a unique marker. It seems to be expressed in only these triple negative samples from African American patients. And since we really don't have an ideal target, this might be a target, we think. So we still have to do additional studies to really understand the function of the gene and the protein. And we're focused now on not only identifying its function, but then looking at it in other cancers to see if it can give us some clues as to what it's doing. So we're pretty excited. Fingers crossed. We'll keep plugging away to kind of see if we can not only identify its function, but possibly try to identify drugs that could potentially target it, because ultimately that is the goal. So we'll be back to give you an update, and looking forward to the walk. So thank you again, Allison, and for all your supporters. And so we'll keep trying to make a difference, because it really does happen and really does help. So thank you again.